and in rare cases, even lead to criminal behaviour. For this reason, the sexual side effects of brain disorders need to be understood. When I decided to commit 4 years to a PhD in neuropsychology, I knew I had to choose a subject that I found intriguing and would keep me eager to learn more. It had to be related to patient care and have real-life implications. I hit the jackpot when I met my future supervisor, who ran a rehabilitation clinic to support people with epilepsy who had undergone neurosurgery. She described how some of them had reported dramatic increases in their sex drive, known as hypersexuality. There were a few reported cases in the literature, but no thorough investigation of why this occurred in some patients. Was it a psychological reaction to sudden seizure freedom, or did it have something to do with the part of the brain that was removed during surgery? I was hooked. I still am. I decided to write this book when I realised it had been nearly 2 decades since I completed that PhD research. I had the urge to share some case histories in the hope that it would bring this topic out of the bedrooms of those who have experienced changes in their sex lives through brain injury or disease and to the attention of all of us. This book is intended for intellectually curious readers who are interested in the brain and learning how brain disorders can impact on those most personal parts of people's lives, their sex drive and behaviour. It is not an academic or scholarly work with all the answers to how your brain controls your sex life. Rather, it describes real cases of people who have experienced an alteration in their sex life due to brain injury or disease, and highlights some of the research on this topic. Some of the cases describe very rare sexual side effects of brain disorders or neurosurgeries, while others outline more typical sexual effects of neurological conditions. Fascinating, and sometimes funny or frightening, all the cases illuminate links between specific parts of the brain and sexual functions. For those with no personal experience of a brain disorder, I hope this book will provide unique insights into the experiences of people living with brain conditions. I also hope this book provides comfort to those who have experienced sexual changes in the context of their neurological disorders, knowing that there are others who have felt the same. The patients and partners I interviewed for my research were so relieved to be able to discuss their situations and to learn that others had experienced similar things. I can still recall a comment made by the husband of a woman who had the temporal lobe of her brain removed to relieve her of seizures. He was exhausted by her post-operative sexual requests and incredibly, albeit jokingly, inquired whether he could have the same operation. "Can you give me one?" he asked. "I can't keep up." As a clinical neuropsychologist, I have the privilege and luxury of spending several hours with my patients. This is typically an unusual experience for most people who are used to spitting out their symptoms to a rushed GP or a medical specialist in under 15 minutes. When I conduct a neuropsychological assessment, I spend up to an hour taking my patient's history, their story, with a focus on their cognitive or thinking skills, such as memory. It's a bit like being a detective of the mind. I need to figure out if there has been any change in their cognition skills and, if so, what the changes are and why they have occurred. Sometimes the why is already known, such as when someone sees me after having a traumatic brain injury in a car crash. At other times, the why is the crucial question. A man in his 50s is struggling to find words and losing his train of thought in conversations. His driving has become erratic and he forgets to take his medications. Is he just stressed out, or is there something more sinister, like early onset dementia, occurring in his brain? If my patients come with a partner or another family member, I ask them for their views. Sometimes they are happy to talk about their loved ones in front of them. At other times, they want to talk in private, sharing their worries.